Alright, so I've just gotten my hands on the brand new Poco M7 Pro 5G and I have my first impressions. The first thing I noticed is it felt like when I held the Redmi Note 14 4G when I had it. On paper, the Redmi Note 14 is slightly heavier with 296 grams against the 190 grams of the M7 Pro, but honestly in hand it's almost indistinguishable. Both phones share the same build and comes in the same protective case. The build philosophy of the M7 Pro 5G echoes that of the Note 14. The weight is balanced, no top-heavy feeling or hand strain. It's comfortable for one-handed use, though the size of the screen and having to stretch thumbs does mean you probably need two hands for more intensive tasks. They offer the same screen protection with the Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and it gives you that little boost of confidence knowing it can handle the occasional knocks or scratch. The glass has a silky smoothness that's comfortable for swiping and gaming and it resists fingerprints reasonably well. But again, this is the same story with the Redmi Note 14 and in that regard, the M7 Pro 5G feels like a familiar friend. The screen ratio is identical with that same immersive 6.67-inch display on 120Hz. It's one of those designs that just feels compact in the hand. The bezels are minimal and same on both phones. The punch-hole camera is unobtrusive and there's a real sense of continuity if you've used the Redmi Note 14 before. That familiarity is actually pretty comforting, but maybe not comforting for some users as they prefer to get a different experience on every phone purchase. All in all, being a member of Xiaomi, the Poco M7 Pro 5G doesn't try to reinvent. Both phones came out around the same time period and around the same purchase category, so they have a lot in common and the Poco M7 Pro adds just enough of its own flair to make it feel fresh and exciting. If you've used the Redmi Note 14, the M7 Pro 5G will feel instantly familiar but with a few extra touches like that slightly better hardware experience and Poco's unique design styling to make you feel like you're holding the next step forward. The design of the Poco M7 Pro is pretty sleek like you saw on the unboxing. It has a dual tone design but the texture on both sides feels the same. The patterns on the right glitter in directions when exposed to sunlight and the phone might strike an attention or two in summer. Quite the flex if you ask me. Honestly, this is one of the phones you would want to rock caseless and it is possible with this color variant because depth aren't that visible, but how careful you are will determine if you should use this naked or not because it's plastic. Protective cases like the one that came with it are basically meant to absorb more of the job first, so fix this on if clumsy is you. On the appeal side, Poco's gone for a modern, almost minimalist vibe that's surprisingly premium for a phone in this price range. There are no fancy materials used, but they make sure to invoke their artistic sides when creating this design. It's got a smooth back finish with that classic Poco branding at the camera island and the phone feels lightweight with 190 grams and yet sturdy in the hand. Turning it on, I'm facing the display which is a vibrant 120Hz AMOLED screen. Toggling through these wallpaper carousels, I can see the colors pop well and sharp and the navigation operates nicely, no jittering or lag so far. I don't know if it's my vision but yellow seems to pop more on this phone, probably a brand sentiment and you can see it on the default home wallpaper. Another quick thing I noticed are these app icons. Officially, this is my first Ultra Poco phone but weirdly I don't feel new to this experience. That is thanks to Poco being a sub-brand of Xiaomi. The experience feels 90% similar as far as software operations is concerned. And being that I daily drive with a Xiaomi phone currently, I feel a continued experience with the overall UI and major functions because it's running on the same shared HyperOS as they belong on the same brand ecosystem. The Poco however runs the HyperOS 1.0 outside of the box on top Android 14. Being the first iteration of HyperOS, there are a couple of misses which was designed for the version 2.0 currently running on my 14 Pro. The updates have been rolled out for the M7 Pro and are gradually distributing, so I may be getting the phone updated anytime soon. There are a lot like tons of pre-installed apps on the Poco M7 Pro and you can see how much storage it occupies. Not a big deal for me as you could just sort out what's needed and what isn't. The 120Hz refresh rate that is claimed for the phone has a familiar buttery smooth scrolling experience like my other flagship. Moving across apps seems to be of ease and zero struggle. Apps unfold quickly and multitasking seems to be a breeze, but ask me back in like 5 months. It has a 2100 nits of peak brightness and that is activated under heavy sunlight conditions when cranked to the fullest. Being from Africa where sunlight is piercing, if I tell you it passed the brightness test, then it passed the brightness test. The display under intense sunlight is not at the best visibility for multimedia viewing as it does not retain full clarity due to interfering shadows and light reflections, but you can toggle with it when scrolling, jumping through Spotify playlists, or replying that quick message under a heavy sun. This scenario seems to be effortlessly possible. Under the hood, it's powered by a Dimensity 7025 Ultra 5G chipset, and from my initial playing of some racing games, it did just fine. What matters on the first impression is it handled it and didn't give the annoying error of not installing the game. I installed other titles too and they functioned, so I will do more gaming tests in some other video. The camera specifications looks promising, though Poco like I know is tailored more towards gaming and performance, that being the core element yoga users are excited about more on the smartphone. as you know. So I'll say the camera will not be its biggest strength, but because it's here, it means it works. Even a Red Magic has a camera. I haven't done a dive yet, it's my first impression, but my setup shots look decent. There's a 50 megapixel main shooter, 20 megapixel selfie, and 2 megapixel depth. The camera app is easy to navigate with enhancement settings and phone filters baked in. It has a 5110 mAh battery, so I'm guessing it will last a day or slightly less for average non-intensive use since it's a little above 5000 mAh. Plus, it's got a 45W fast charging support, which is a huge booster when you go low with this phone. It comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack and an SD card compatibility, something common with phones around this market bracket but somewhat missing in the flagships where we're supposed to get everything. Like, I miss these two features. Poco really tried packing a lot of value into the M7 Pro. It's got a modern look, a smooth display, and solid performance spec for everyday use on this price segment. So stay tuned for another upcoming video.